Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. The other day I was on Instagram and told you guys I was going to put a YouTube video up for a natural look that I had on my face that day. I did the video, but it was my first time and I made a couple mistakes and I had to chuck the whole thing and wasn't able to use it. So I thought today I would get on and try to do another natural look. Not try, I'm going to do it for you. And so right now I have on my skincare and I have just got done putting on my sunscreen. I was using the Naked Sundays SPF 50 on my face. It works really good. It's moisturizing and it kind of goes on like a primer. Once it dries down, it gives your skin a really nice kind of canvas to work with the makeup on, the cream makeup. So first of all, I just want to tell you, to get the elephant out of the room, I have this stupid thing on my pinky. I cut my finger yesterday on a mandolin slicer. I was slicing cucumbers and had to go to the Express Care and get that taken care of. So I'm going to try to do this video with this goofy thing on. So first and foremost, I'm going to look at my face and I see where I have some distractions. My eyebrow, darkness, the hyperpigmentation there, here, and just around my eyes. I have a few spots other places, but these are the ones that really bother me. So I'm going to go into my Demi color correctors, and I always like to go into 03. It's like a peachy shade, and I use the spot brush. This is from Seint. It's made to be used with the Demi because you only need the slightest little amount of this Demi product color corrector to, to use. So you don't want to use a real big brush because you'll get too much on. And this goes on like skin. And you can use, experiment with a few of the different shades. I like to go with these couple. This one is R01 and 01. They're a little bit lighter than the 03. But, I have different shades of distractions on my face. So I will need more than one Demi shade. This one is the main one, but I do like to go to these two also. So I just like to fill those in. Well, not fill it in. I already did my brows. But just kind of put a light coating of this color corrector where I need it. And I can always go back and use a little bit more when I'm done because I will do my under eyes after I do the rest of my complexion. So today I'm going to use for my complexion, since my skin is, my tan on my face is starting to fade. So I'm going to use Candlelit and White Peach. Now, White Peach, I'm going to use where my skin is pretty light, like right around in here, where my skin doesn't get a lot of sun and it doesn't have a lot of texture either. I can get away with using this lighter shade of Light Peach. So I'm just going to roll it in. It looks light. Looks like it could be too light, but let me blend it in because we can always change. I mean, I did use this in the winter, so maybe I'm not ready for it yet, but oh, I think it's fine. So one thing about this cream makeup by Seint is, that's the company, this is Seint that makes this cream makeup. They require you to get a color match, from an artist, which or an affiliate. We're switching to an affiliate program. We're not going to be considered artists anymore, but it's hard to, when you look into these pans, to figure out which shade. I mean, you're going to pick something that's too light because they look a lot darker in the pans than they do on your face. So, it's, I know about how they look on the skin, so it's good to have someone that's experienced with this, an artist, to pick it for you, because chances are you're going to think you're a shade by the way it looks online or in the pan. And once you get it home, you're going to or it gets home, you're going to see that it's too light. And when it's too light and you have a lot of texture on your skin, like I do around here, this orange peel skin and just pock marks and stuff, that accentuates it and brings it forward and makes that stuff on your face even look worse. So you always want to make sure you don't go too light, especially over textured areas. So I'm just going to put this this white peach, which is lighter, just along here because my neck is white. My chest is dark though, but I'm just all different shades. So I'm going to use bronzer, so I'll be able to bring this whole look together when I use my bronzer. So that's where I'm going to use the white peach. Now I'm going to use my main shade, which is called Candlelit, and I'm going to show you how once it's on, it really, it's not real easy to detect with just the dots because it's pretty close to my skin shade. It still may be a little light for me right now, but like I said, I'm going to use some bronzer and my other shades that I was using all summer, they seem to be a little bit too dark now because my tan is fading. So that's the Candlelit, and I'm going to dip into it. You could dot it on like I did. I typically like to dip my brush. I'm not a dot person or slash person or whatever. You see people with the dots and lines. I do it sometimes because it's good to show customers exactly where to put the shades, and they can kind of get an idea before they start going into their palettes on their own and trying to figure out where these shades go. So, and it's just, I'm just doing a very light coating of this makeup, if you will. It's not going to be a very dark full coverage today. You can make this makeup full coverage. You could put another layer on after this, but I am just showing you an everyday natural look. Okay, and I'm leaving my under eyes blank. I'm not putting any of this under my eyes. I have too much texture. My skin is very loose and baggy under there, and I do have some crow's feet. I get Botox, but it's all wore off, and I need to get some again. And I don't like to always get it under my eyes anyway, so I usually just get it up in here. But you could see my face is moving pretty good. I probably need some Botox. So anyway, that is going to be my complexion, which is the foundation. It's called a highlight shade. Seint calls the foundation shades highlight shades. And this is a 3-dimensional foundation, so it's meant to bring out the highlights of your face and the lowlights and accentuate things that you want to come forward, that you like about your skin and your face. And then the darker shades can retract some of the stuff that you want to hide. And I don't know, it's just, our skin isn't one flat plane, our face. So, we don't want to just put one shade on our whole face. We like to bring out dimension and bring out cheekbones and not have to use so much blush and so much other things on top of our foundation to bring out our features. So, because the more makeup you use, especially in midlife, the older you will look. Trust me. Okay, so I have, why do I always lose my, oh crap, I never find that brush. Okay, here it is. I'm going to go in with a little bit of contour. Now, this is called Astoria. That is my contour shade, but I can wear a couple different contour shades. But today I'm going to, show you how you put the contour on. You find your cheekbone, mine's right here, and you would just go slightly under it. And bring that contour to the top of the ear. And, I don't want to bring it too far down. I usually just bring it to like the corner of my eye, like right here. Find the cheekbone, and then it's just right below it. not in the hollow. You don't want to put it here because then you'll start to look, I don't know, too hollowed out. And our skin's getting like that. Our face is getting that way with age, and we don't want to accentuate it even more by putting the shadow in the hollow. So you want to make your face look like the hollow is actually a little higher than it is, like this. You can already see that it's bringing out my cheekbones. See what I mean? Here's my natural hollow and shadow, and this is where I put the contour. And you can make it as light or as dark as you want. I'm going to blend all this in the end, so it really doesn't matter. It might look a little dark right now, but it won't be in the end when I'm all done. Also, another place I like to put contour is, I have a big forehead, so I like to bring that contour up and around my hairline and down a little bit to kind of shorten my forehead, give the illusion that it's not so broad. And you want to get it up into your hairline, so you don't want to have a white mark where your scalp is showing. So you just push it into the hairline up there and go around. And I like to do mine like in a U shape. That's just how I know I'm getting. I don't want to put contour here because we're hollowing out here too. We're hollowing out here, and you don't want to put the darker shades there or there, because then it's going to make you look like a skeleton, kind of like, you know, when you see the skull of a skeleton, the skull, and it's just, you could see the hollowing here, and then you don't want that. I mean, that might have been a thing in the 80s or 90s, but especially now for younger people, or older people, I mean, you just don't want to do that. So there is my contour. It's on my forehead, kind of giving the illusion that my forehead's not as big. I am going to use bronzer up there too. And then I want to use it here. Do you see where I have like this loosey-goosey skin, like right here and right here? You want to get your contour, and you want to right on that edge. You don't want to do it up on your face, but just slightly on that edge of your jawbone to push that flabby part right here that's hanging back, and then bring that down. And it might look a little crazy at first, but you're going to blend everything in. So this is just getting started. Can you see the difference? I can. I mean, I don't know if you guys can, but I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And you guys, this cream makeup moves with your skin, and it doesn't dry down like liquid foundations do, or powder foundations. When you put like your liquid foundation on, sometimes you're like, oh, it's so moisturizing, and it's making my skin look so smooth. But once it starts to dry, and it's all the way dried down, and if you have any pock marks, pores, orange peel skin, it's going to dry, and you're going to be able to see, it's going to dry up around those imperfections, and you see, it just, you know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. I don't even have to explain it. If you're a middle-aged woman and you use liquid foundation, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, but the cream makeup does not do that. It doesn't dry down on your skin like that. It goes on creamy. It stays on creamy. You have to set it with a setting spray or a little bit of setting powder. And, you know, it moves with your skin. You can laugh, talk, open your mouth wide. It's not going to crack, and you're not going to see the creases where it sunk into your fine lines and wrinkles. So this is, there it is with the contour. And now I'm going to use a little bit of my bronzer. So this is the blush and bronzer brush, and it's real big and fluffy on this side and a little bit denser on the blush side. But this brush is key to getting the contour on in a, excuse me, my nose is running, guys. To getting the contour, or to getting the bronzer on in a real natural sheer type of way. You want a very loose, fluffy brush. And, you know, I've used other brushes. I have a ton of brushes. Guys, I have a million brushes, and this is just some of them. I have a ton more. These brushes that Seint makes, they're dual-ended, so you get, you know, more bang for your buck. It's like you got two brushes in one for one price. They work with this cream makeup like no other. I mean, you're never going to get a better coverage or just overall look with a different type of brush. You know, I really suggest the Seint brushes if you're going to go into the makeup. Just one. You could just get, well, you could use this one and use this side for your foundation and your blush. Use this one for your bronzer and your powder. And we have a brush cleaner that cleans your brushes in seconds, and they're dry in seconds. So if you wanted to clean them in between, the brush cleaner is like a no-brainer. You spray it on the brush or on a microfiber towel, wipe it, it's dry and it's clean and it's sanitized. So if you just wanted to get one brush, you could start off with one. And I would suggest this one or the 3D brush, because it has this tapered end and it's easy to get like corners around your nose and, you know, up in here. But either one of these is good to start with. So there's my Bella bronzer, which is what I usually match most of the women in, because it goes along with most skin tones. It's not too orange, it's not too cool, it's not too warm, and it's very natural. It looks like such a natural tan. And you could use a little bit of bronzer in your temple, just not the contour, because the contours have a gray shadowy look, which that's what you want when you use a contour. But you don't want to use that there. But you could use a little bronzer, you know, over your whole. So there's the bronzer, okay? And now I'm going to do a little bit of under eye correcting with, this one is that the other brush I used was the spot brush. It was this one, and it's smaller. It has a smaller, more tapered, pointy tip. Now this is the bright brush. I like to use this too. It's a little bit smaller on the end, and but it's good for the demi also. So I'm going to show you the demi that I'm going to use under my eyes. I'm going to go back into that 01, that peachy shade, right where I have some darkness. I'm going to just use the smallest amount of this, guys. I usually go into, first I use the 03 on the darkest part, which is usually like that. See right there? It's usually this one right here on this side. And then I go into the other two and just try to brighten it up a little bit. Sometimes I have some darkness right in here. And I don't want to use, you know, you see the younger girls using all that concealer. Once you get a certain age, you cannot do that. I mean, if you like that look, go ahead. But once you try this demi under your eyes, you'll never go back to regular concealer, because it just looks like skin. It acts like skin. It moves like skin. And it has a really pretty sheen to it too. It doesn't look like it just doesn't look like makeup. It has beeswax in it, so that is something in there that helps to not fall into your creases and cracks. It's almost like it's got a little bit of a primer in it. That's what the beeswax is, kind of like a primer to me. So I just put that under my eyes. I don't bring it all the way up under my eyelashes because they're a little dark anyway from all the lash serums that I use. So I kind of have a natural underline under there already, a natural eyeliner. So I usually don't use anything under there. But this is what I use in place of concealer. And if you look up close, you can see that there's no cakiness. It just looks like smooth skin. But yet all the, you know, the darkness is faded. It's color corrected. It's not covered up. It's actually just corrected. If you don't have a lot of lines and wrinkles under your eyes, you can go in after this step with a little bit of concealer. But, you know, that's your preference, whatever you know, feel comfortable. Some people just feel like they have to put that under their eyes, but I quit doing that a while ago. So this is my complexion. Now I'm going to use a little bit of blush, and I'm going to use, this is my blush and bronzer brush. I'm going to go on this side. It's a little bit denser. And I'm going to go in with Desert Sunset. This one is Desert Sunset right here. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. That goes on so beautiful. I'm going to do another look with that another day. But this is Desert Sunset, and you can use your finger to put it on, or you could just dip your brush right into it. I'm going to show you what the color actually looks like. So, and then you just stipple it out. You dab it out. You don't have to swipe. It just blends out so quick and easy. And if you make a mistake, if you didn't like this color and you're like, oh, that's not the shade I thought it was going to be, just take your foundation brush that you used with your main highlight shades, and you could just blend it out that way with this. Or you could just blend the edges out with it if you put too much on. There's always a way to fix a mistake you made with this cream makeup, and it's never anything where you have to wash your whole face and start over. So I'm going to use a little bit up here of blush and a little across my nose, just to make it look a little like it's cohesive and everything's blended together. That's one thing too that I like about these cream makeup is that everything is smooth and, you know, blends together. You don't have any harsh lines. You just don't want that, especially when you're middle-aged. You just don't want stripes and lines and definitions, like where things start and stop. You just don't want that. You just want to look smooth, dewy, with some color, and, you know, you want to make people wonder if you really have makeup on or not. That's really the look that I'm trying to go for, is, does she have makeup on, or does her skin look like that? You know. So anyway, there is my blush, my bronzer, everything. Now I could just go, because I have my mascara on and my brows, so I could be done with this right now. But I am going to do a little bit of an eye look for you, and I'm going to show you the new eyeshadow of the month, which it's almost going to be the end of the month, so you only have a couple more weeks to get this shade, and it is called Waltz. And oh, here it is, this shade right here. This is called Waltz. That's our shade of the month for August. It's like a gray, a taupey gray, I don't know, taupey gray, putty type of a shade. It's really pretty. And I'm going to just do a little wash of that in my crease. So let me get my eyeshadow brush here. And I'm going to do this right in my crease. Now, I just realized that I usually like to either powder down my eyelids or put a little bit of my foundation on them, and I didn't do either, so we're going to see how this looks without it. It's actually going on pretty good. I'm shocked. And I'm just putting it in my crease and slightly above. And this is a color that kind of is a neutral shade. It would go, if you're warm or you're cool, you could probably wear this either way. You could mix it with cool shades, other cool shades. You could mix it with a warm shade. I might mix it with a little bit of Bubba. So here is the waltz. It is a really pretty shade. You only have till the end of August, guys, to get it. So, you know, once it's gone, it's gone. It's only here for August. Seint does a new eyeshadow every month. They have an eyeshadow of the month. So there is the shade. Now for me, it is a little cooler. I like a little bit of a warmer look on my eyes. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of Bubba, which is right here. And I'm using the same brush. And I'm just gonna try to warm it up a little bit. See the difference? And we have so many eyeshadow shades, you guys would die. There's so many beautiful shimmers, so many pretty mattes. It's hard to decide what you want to do when you look at all of these. It's fun though to decide, you know, every day what kind of look you want to go for. There's so much to choose from that, you know. So that same warm Bubba shade, it's almost like a neutral shade too. It's slightly warmer than the waltz. I'm going to put a little bit of this under my eyes just for a little bit of, just to round out the whole look there. Kind of have it all connecting. So that's kind of all I'm going to do for my eye in terms of the color. I'm going to use this other little shade, this light shade here called Cupcake. And I'm going to use that right there on the middle of my eyelid. And bring it down into the corner. I'm not going to use anything sparkly or, you know, shimmery for this daytime look. In fact, I may even do a little more of, the Bubba was warm, but I think I want to go into, well, Philly is a little bit too warm. It's too dark. I think I'm going to go into Sedona. This one is Sedona. That one was Philly. That's Sedona. And this one was Bubba. And so that's Sedona. It's slightly warmer. So I'm going to try a little bit of that. Yeah, that's better. So the waltz just gave it a, you know, kind of just contoured the eye. And then these warmer shades kind of just are giving me the look that I want with the color. And I'm not using a Seint brush for this because they're all dirty and it'll take too long for me to try to clean all those. So there you go. And that's going to be it for me, guys. I'm going to use a little bit of setting spray. Oh, forgot my lips. Okay. So I used Desert Sunset on my cheeks. So I'm just going to use it on my lips too. It kind of goes with this neutral shirt that I'm wearing. And I just do it with my finger. Don't mind my wrapped up yucky finger. Oh, look how pretty that is. I like that. So the only other thing that I would do is go in with a little bit of setting spray first. Let that start to sink in. Then I have a damp beauty sponge. This is from Seint. This is called the Perfector sponge. And I'm going to go all over all my makeup, my complexion makeup. And, you know, you want it to be seamless. And then if you still need, or you feel like you need setting powder, Seint makes it's called vanilla dust powder, and it's in a tin. It fits right in your little, you know, magnetic palettes with all the other shades. And you can always have that on hand if you need it. Or you can use, you know, any setting powder that you know, your favorite one. I like the Laura Mercier too for loose setting powder. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my brush and just go right where I might get a little oilier. I try not to put it under my eyes, but you know, if you feel like your eyes get oily underneath and you need to put a little bit of setting powder, you could do that, or you could just put a little bit of setting spray on your ring fingers and dab under there. Now this I'm actually done, but there is one more step that you can do if you want to add a little more glow. This is called Angel. This is an illuminator. And this is what in the old makeup world we called highlighter, but in Seint's world it's called illuminator. And this is what we would use above our cheeks. And we have all different shades of illuminators, tons of different shades of contours and bronzers and highlight shades. So that's why it's important that you get a color match, because there's so many different shades to choose from, and you want to get the right one, and you want somebody that's experienced and knows about it to help you, because you want to love your makeup. Okay guys, that's it. And if you have any questions, you could write them below. And I hope this YouTube video worked for you like it did for me. Hope you learned something. See you later.